Hello, everyone. It's Sarah Altair with Actation Live, and this is the Midweek Zap. And I'm so excited because today we have Bandit, the doggy entrepreneur, and his human, Christine DeGraff. So welcome, everyone. Welcome all the Zapsters, and welcome to the new folks. And let's just get going. Christine, tell us how Bandit started out as an entrepreneur.
Hey there, everybody. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for having me on. Bandit's, he's a little camera shy, so... Actually, he's not. He loves selfies and stuff, but he's not too sure about this video thing, and especially sitting on Mom's lap. He's a pretty big dog to be sitting on a lap, so... But, now I'm a co-founder of Circloscope, and it's a circle management tool that helps you manage your circles on Google+. And I love posting photos of Bandit. I've been posting photos of him for a couple of years now. So I wanted to do Bandit had a page. He had a page for about a year here on Google+. And he had, 20 followers, basically people that I know, and I would post some of his pictures there. So one of the things I wanted to do with Circloscope is I wanted to do some case studies to show people how you could really get a lot of engagement by carefully targeting your followers and being proactive about circling people. So I went ahead and I said, here's a good case study. If I can get, Bandits to get a nice following, an engaged following, and actually have him be an entrepreneur and sell a T-shirt, I said that would make a pretty good case study. So that's what I did. So over a period of about 4 weeks, Bandit posted every day. He was very good about it. He posted his little doggy photos every day and made friends in the doggy communities. And what I did is I used Circloscope to target people that might want to follow Bandit by going to, the dog communities, the pet communities, things like that, people who had commented on, his photos in the past, stuff like that. And I just started circling them every day, a little bit at a time. So in about a 3 to 4 week period, he went from about 20 followers to close to 1,000 and these followers were so engaged and active on his page. Well, he is not happy right now. Hey, come here, have a peanut. So they were so active and engaged that I actually did I compared Bandit's following and engagers to some of the big dogs here on Google+, like Guy Kawasaki, Gary V, Mike Elgin, I believe. Let's see, and Robert Scoble, which all of those, they have millions of followers. In fact, I'm going to pull up a chart. I shared it with the audience. But let me actually screen share this. Hold on one second. Can you see that?
Nope. Oh, there you go.
There you go. So you might want to white box that. So as you could see, when I did this comparison, now this was back about 6 months ago, Guy Kawasaki had over 6 million followers. Robert Scoble had 5.5 million. Mike Elgin had 3.5 million, and Gary Vaynerchuk had 2 million. And here's Bandit with his 928 followers at the time. But what you can see is the average over the last 50 shares, the 50 posts on each of their accounts. I took an average using Circle Count, which is a free tool, circlecount.com. And you could see that Bandit's average comments were 18 compared to Guy Kawasaki's of 12 and Gary V's of 9. His average reshares were the same as Robert Scoble's and more than Gary V's, and his average plus ones were more than these people. And what this now, you could look at this two ways, I suppose. You could say, okay, well, maybe their holy fell. Maybe their followers aren't that engaged, or which may be true. I think their numbers, maybe are a little low. Or that Bandit's followers were extremely engaged, and it didn't take very many followers to really, get him to the same engagement level as someone with 6 million followers. And that's the point I really wanted to make, is that you don't need 6 million followers here on Google+. You need 1,000 active, engaged, interested followers. And that is going to give you the same level of engagement as if you had 6 million non-active or non-interested followers. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. It makes total sense, and I think that, engagement, when you look at, what search looks at for your web presence, engagement is a really key data indicator.
Definitely.
The more you have comments, the more you have +1s here on Google+, and the more people engage and share, the higher your web presence as far as the search engine is concerned. And so it's very, very important. Yes, you don't need 6 million followers to get really high engagement.
Absolutely. And it is a little bit comparing apples to oranges, of course, because on Bandit's page he was sharing dog photos, but that's what his audience was interested in. Robert Scoble and Guy Kawasaki, they're sharing social media posts, and that is what they're known for. So I do realize that dog photos will usually get a lot more interest than a social media post, but but comparatively speaking, I believe that if Bandit he's actually hibernating for the winter right now, but if we had continued with this experiment over time, I do believe that his numbers, once he got to the 10,000 active, engaged, targeted follower range, his engagement level would really even skyrocket more. And so, during those 3 weeks, that's when we created a little store for Bandit. Yeah, didn't we? That you could see bit.ly/dog t-shirts if anybody wants to go take a look. And it's an affiliate link store.
It's listed in the event description with Bandit.
And he actually sold a t-shirt. So I'm like, wow, that's okay, it's one t-shirt, but it was like he did sell a t-shirt. He actually sold 3 affiliate links to Circloscope. So it goes to show you that even a dog can sell on Google+ if you put your mind to it. I think that the keys are really the targeting, the making sure that what you're posting is what your audience is looking for. We did. I went to some T-shirt communities and targeted some of them as well. Just trying to get people who are interested in T-shirts, people who are interested in pets, things like that. Hey, what are you doing? He's not happy.
Wait, you have to see this. Leila Martin is waiting for him to lay a big old kiss on you.
You want to speak? Can you speak? He won't speak. Will you speak? He's like, no, not today.
Not now. He says, I'm on your lap. This is weird, Mom, Right. And then Dave Pipe says, Bandit is in my music hangout circle.
He's a good dog. Yeah, Bandit is 9. Just to give you a little more background on Bandit, he's 9 years old. He's a rescue dog. He was I got him when he was about 6 months old. He was in a kill shelter, and I rescued him from there. He had mange. He had fleas. He was sick. But I took one look at his little face. Actually, I met him online. I was looking for a dog online. I took one look at his little face. I drove straight there, picked him up, and brought him home. And he's been the best dog in the whole world. So he's my little buddy.
Yeah, actually, I met my kitties online. There's Zorzy and his "You've got to be kidding, it's a dog" pose. But I met my kitties online, and the same thing. They had actually Zorzy was. I couldn't even bring him. He couldn't even come to my house. He was so sick.
Aww.
He had to get well first. Before he came, so I'm a huge proponent of rescuing animals, and he's been here about 9 years. And then Tidy, who isn't here right now, Tidy came about a month later from the same rescue place. Because Zorzy wanted to play 24 hours a day, and I just couldn't do that. I said, he needs another kitty. Yeah. So, Christine, let's see. I'm seeing some references to Circloscope, and maybe we can give Bandit a break and let him sit down under the desk for a while, and then bring him back up at the end. And maybe you can talk a little about Circloscope for folks and how it helped Bandit.
Okay, let me put him down. Say bye-bye. Say maybe I'll come back at the end. There you go. Okay. He is heavy, too.
Yeah, and wait, before you start to say, Elaine, Niverding says, I'm cracking up getting Bandit as an affiliate to sell links to Circloscope.
Yeah, and the way that came about is after I did the study, and I wrote a blog post about it. It got like tremendous shares. So I shared it, or Bandit shared it on his page, and said, look what Mom did using Circloscope. She got me all these targeted followers, and so made a couple sales. And a couple of the things is during that 3 to 4 week period, I did not spam the audience with links. I mean, I think I posted the Circloscope link once, the T-shirt link a few times, with a picture of a different T-shirt. But, mostly it was relevant, targeted posts, pictures of him, pictures of other dogs, other pet-related things, engage with people, because you should see some of his posts had like 100 comments, people just saying how cute he was, how much they loved him, and stuff like that. And he really, he started getting people's attention. He is an influencer dog. He was going to a page here on Google Plus. It's a company called Dynavite, and he started plussing their posts, and they took notice. And next thing I know, we get this big package in the mail, and it's all kinds of dog treats, and they did a shout out for him. Bandit, thank you for plussing our posts, and they gave shampoo and dog treats and all kinds of vitamins and all kinds of stuff. So that's what I love about Google Plus is if you have people that you're trying to get their attention, or brands that you're trying to get their attention, you can do it here. I mean, if they're active here as well, and if they're paying attention, they'll notice you. So.
That's so true, and staying focused. Just what you were saying is doing your posts and sharing other people's posts, and then every once in a while putting in the link to the T-shirts, or the link to Circloscope, because otherwise it's going to feel like spamming.
Absolutely. And I compared to Gary Vaynerchuk. I love Gary V. And he's got that book, Jab Jab Right Hook. It's like you only throw your right hook every once in a while. I know Guy Kawasaki, his philosophy is that he's giving so much value and content to his audience that every so often it's like, okay, and here's something of mine. And, if your audience isn't going to mind that, and whether it's selling something or promoting something, like, for example, if you're an HOA host, you promote your HOA, but if all you do is promote your HOA, then people will get turned off. But, if you're have a good healthy mix and are promoting other people and sharing great stuff, and then you promote your stuff, it's more likely that they're going to be interested, because you've grown some trust, and some that's important, is they know that your audience knows, hey, they're here for a reason. It's very clear, if you're here for business, or there's some transparency, but you're also here to be social and to build relationships and things like that. So, Kim Armstrong has a good comment. I'm going to bring it up.
Okay.
She says, haha, that's nice. They realize that Bandit's a thought leader. And Elaine says, influencer dog, that Bandit, triple laugh out loud.
Yep. It's but I think for a lot of people here in our audience, it's just how it works with influencing and gathering the audience for your stream, so that you're consistent about whatever it is that I call them the talking topics, that whether it's something that you write, or sharing something else that someone has done, or on hangout on air that fits with your area, all of those things count,
Absolutely, yes. And if so just going back a little bit to the Circloscope and the targeting your audience. Some people don't like the idea of the follow for follow, or the things like that. And I don't actually I don't subscribe to the follow for follow. Like, if somebody follows me, I don't follow back unless I'm interested, and I don't follow random people for no reason, because if that, to me, is just building a follower count number, and is like shooting darts blind. You don't know who these people are, whether or not they're interested. So with Circloscope, what I do is I'll go through the Google Plus stream and look at different posts, and then I will send those posts. Like, say, for example, if I want to sell dog T-shirts, I'm going to look for posts that get engagement, that are pet photos, that are T-shirt photos, things like that, things that are relevant, and then I'm going to send those posts to Circloscope, and I can show you how to do that in a minute, and circle those people. They have already, expressed some type of interest by sharing or commenting or plussing on a certain type of post. Another thing is a community. If someone has joined a community, they've expressed an interest. So by following them, then they're going to get a notification, hey, Bandit followed you. And if they're a dog lover or a T-shirt lover, and they look at his profile and it's all, related, and the About page says, I'm a dog, I'm an entrepreneur, I sell T-shirts, I'm very transparent, this is why I'm here, then if they're interested, they'll follow. And if they're not, then I eventually would unfollow them, because they're not interested. Follow people that are interested. That's the way that I was able to take him from 20 followers to close to 1,000 in 3 weeks. Just by every day going, finding 50 or 100 people to follow, 20 or so will follow back. Do that every day. And these are, as you could see from the engagement levels that he had, they were engaged people. And the fact that he sold anything, I was a little surprised. I was like, Because it's not easy to sell things on social media. It really isn't. But
It's especially not easy to sell things directly from Google Plus. Google Plus gives you
correct.
exposure and
And
sends
now
loading
imagine,
the web page, but
yeah,
it is.
imagine this on another level though, because this was over 3 weeks just on Google Plus and an affiliate site. Now imagine if you had your website set up correctly, and all of this engagement is sending social signals, and you were writing blog posts, and they're going into search. Then it's more of you could see how much bigger it can become. This was just a very small scale experiment. I mean, I really think if I would have, if I spent a year, for example, building his presence, which I think realistically, if you're thinking about selling on social media, it might take you a year or more to build that following, to get the blog up, to get the search rankings before you ever see any sales. I have projects where I'm thinking I'm going to invest a lot of time up front, and I might not make a dime for a year. But that's part of if once you believe in it, if you have a product, if you have a service that you believe in, and you're planning to put in that time, then we all know. I know I'm preaching to the choir to you that Google Plus is a definitely great place to be.
Yeah, but we're getting feedback here's Jessica Maynard. I had a trainer, Hillary Rushford, say recently, it's better to be profitable than to be popular. That follower number is not that important if they are unengaged people. This is great stuff, Christine.
Very, very true. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely rather be profitable than popular.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, if you could be both, that's even better. If you could be popular and profitable, perfect. But I think for most of, most people here for business reasons, they're looking for the profit. They're not too worried about the popular part.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then Candy Habiosake. Hi, Candy.
Hey, Candy.
It's so nice to see you here from so far away. I don't even know what time it is there.
Yep, Japan.
Anyway, she says, that's what I love here in Google Plus is the sharing and engaging. So true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so, in one way you could say, well, Bandit is a lovable doggy. He had, the cards stacked in his favor before he started. Some people might perceive it like that, but I think the strategy that Bandit used is so spot on.
Well, and I have to tell you, because I do social media for businesses as well, and I work for Steady Demand as their social media person, and I've had some pretty unglamorous clients, I guess you could call them. They're hosting companies, email backup companies, things like that. They're doing well, and it's the same strategy. It's targeting an audience. It's consistently posting, good content that is shareable, and it's just, being here. It's being present here on the platform. I'm not saying you have to be here all day, but you do have to be here. You have to be present. You have to respond to people, even if it's, even if you just put aside 15 minutes a day. It's something that needs to be done. That's why, I'm not on every social platform. I almost never log into Facebook or Pinterest. I'm my choice. I decided I had to pick one or two because, of limited time. So Google Plus and Twitter are my main, platforms.
Yeah, it's the same for me, and um, and the oh, I lost my train of thought. I was reading comments and I lost my train of thought. Um,
I tried being everywhere. I did, and it just.
yeah,
And
no,
I mean, I
it
do
doesn't
have, you
work.
know,
So
I have a.
I'm exactly same way. I'm really focused on Google Plus. I I engage on Twitter, but not actively. I mean, it's like it's midnight. I better check my Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
Um, oh, but what I wanted to say was one of the reasons that I my terminology is web presence rather than say digital marketing or something like that, because it is your presence that counts, and it's how you interact with other people, and whether you even respond. Do you know what I mean? If somebody has.
Absolutely. And you won't be able to respond everywhere to everyone. I don't log into LinkedIn very frequently, so I know I should, because I'm a business person, but there are probably messages that I haven't replied to. I had to stop worrying about it. It was too overwhelming to worry about, oh my gosh, I've got to check Facebook to see if there's a message. I've got to check Pinterest. I've got to check LinkedIn, because I do have a profile everywhere, and I have posted everywhere, but I'm not active everywhere. And I had to pick and choose, and I just said, I'm here on Google Plus, and even here, there are times when the notifications get too overwhelming, and I just clear them out. And at the end of the day, maybe I've missed something important once in a while. Maybe I've missed an opportunity. When we used to just have a telephone in our house and not a cell phone, or and if we didn't answer the phone every time it rang, say in our business, maybe we didn't have a secretary or even an answering machine, and you didn't pick up, you could miss an opportunity, and someone might call somewhere else. But oh well. You're going to miss things once in a while. You can't stress about it that much. You can only do what you can do. And, if someone really wants to get there, I mean, if there's an emergency, people will get a hold of me. My family will get a hold of me if it's an emergency. If somebody really wants to hire me and only me, they'll find a way, but you just have to let it go sometimes. You can't be everywhere or do everything. But you need to do your best. You need to put in an effort. So that's why I decided, pick what you can handle. I tried handling all the networks, and I wanted to be active everywhere and engaged everywhere. And I said, I can't do this. I'm going crazy. I like Google Plus. I will try my best to answer everybody there, but I don't always. And I'll try my best to answer on Twitter, but I don't always. But I'm not adding any more. It's like, well.
Yes, I really understand, and I know that for the notification streams, because sometimes that happens if I have like 2 busy days in a row, and the notifications, it's overwhelming. But I just wanted to point out to people who can get that feeling. It really happens to everyone, that your notification is just like, it feels like a powerful waterfall washing you down in this pool, and you're drowning.
Clear it out.
That you can go and check your mentions. That's a way that
Absolutely.
I check up on, someone who's actually engaged with me and made comments and it is participating in a conversation. I may miss people who have plussed a post, but that's just the way it goes. But as far as, refining the engagement, I found that mention, when you go up to the top and hit the mention, it'll bring up every post everywhere where there's a mention of you.
Yep.
And it's a shortcut when you're feeling that the notification stream is so short. And then I want to bring up a comment, because I want to talk about whitelisting in Circloscope. Dave Pipe says, I use Circloscope to check those I'm following, but I don't rely on it totally, as some of those that I follow don't post that often, but when they do, their posts are normally good. And I have found that whitelisting in Circloscope really helps me with those people who I really do want to follow. You want to talk a little bit about what whitelisting is?
Absolutely. I could bring it up if we want.
Oh, okay, super.
Let's see, let me screen share again. I'm actually going to bring up Bandit's account. And Bandit has been inactive. As I said, he is hibernating for the winter. And I'll just be honest, you know, well, surprise, surprise, I'm the one posting as Bandit. He just tells me what to say. He can't type. No. But it got to be too much. I'm busy. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of clients. And, you know, checking Bandit's account every day was starting to become too much. You know, this was not meant to be a business. This was a, you know, I was trying to come up with a case study for a blog post, and kind of a tongue-in-cheek one at that. So anyway, Bandit has been inactive. But as you can see, he circled 4,000 people to get those 1,200 followers. 2,500 of them are relevant to him. In other words, you know, they commented on his post, he commented on their post, stuff like that. So what I would do, since I haven't been in here in so long, is I would start cleaning out his circles. And it does take a while to run with so many people, so I'll just pick one circle. So I've got this circle called Circloscope 1, and the reason that I numbered them, sometimes I date them, is so that later, you know, if I circle people in March, I want to come back in April or May and see if they've followed back, and if not, I'll remove them, because you can only follow 5,000 people. So since he's following 4,000, he's getting to that limit where some of these people that did not follow back need to be removed. So I picked that circle, and I'm going to go to Filters and just put an X in the Not Follows and Apply. And 990 people in that circle did not follow back. I'm not sure how many were in that to begin with. I forgot already. Let me go back and do that again. Okay, so there were 1,639 in that circle. And that was over, I named them, it was a week period, Circloscope 1. So for that 1 week, I added everybody to this circle. Then I created Circloscope 2 and did the same thing. So again, go to Filters, put an X for Not Follows. These people did not follow back. I'm going to assume they're not interested. I'm going to select them and remove them from all circles. Takes just a minute.
You know, I think sometimes people get, while it's doing that, sometimes people get, you know, like, oh, I've found this person and they're not following, and if I remove them, you know, it's all over. But I know when you were on before, we talked about, you know, the people who really resonate with you will start engaging, and you know, it just might be the wrong time right now, and so when you take them out, you know, it leaves room for the people who really want to engage with you, and you have activity.
And the first interview, since
you didn't do the white list, because I really like to show
I'll do that too.
Because, you know, if you do have people that maybe, you know, especially influencers, and you want to keep track of what they're saying, but you know, you don't have that many conversations with them. You can still follow them, and even if they aren't writing to you personally every day, you can whitelist them. So if you could show us that, I think it's really important so that we don't keep kicking them out of our circles.
Absolutely. And, you know, okay, let's first go, let me look at my mom's friends circle. So as you can see, these are my friends that Bandit circled, and some of them are not following back, like Elizabeth, and I noticed this because there's that little eye icon, or I can also check with the filters. Brian Shay's not following back, but I want to keep all these people. So these are mom's friends, so you got to keep them. So I'm going to select them all and click whitelist, add to whitelist. So now they are whitelisted, and you'll find that under the dashboard under lists. So these people can't be removed using Circloscope. Now I could still accidentally remove them if I delete a circle in Google+. But if I'm using Circloscope, they will not get removed. So even like this, I could select these two and try to remove them from all circles, and it says nothing's going to happen because they are whitelisted. So they won't accidentally get removed. The only way I could remove them now using Circloscope is if I actually remove them from the whitelist, and then they would show up. So even if these people become inactive, because there are inactivity filters, I can filter and say someone hasn't posted on Google Plus for 3 months, I want to remove them. Or if they're not following, you know, the people I want to keep. So this is kind of your first step, is you want to build your whitelist of people that you want to keep no matter what. They're the people that are, you know, you get content from, you learn from, maybe, you know, they're just your friends and you don't want to lose track of them. So you would whitelist. Now I did want to show you real quick how you can send people to your circles. So I'm going to do a search. Let me log in as Bandit. Bandit has 90 unresponded to notifications. I need to get in here. Okay, so Bandit's going to go to the Dog of the Day community. And you see this has 151,000 members in it. You cannot circle that many people. 5,000 is the max. So, you know, that wouldn't work. But what you can do is you can find posts that people have plus commented and shared on, and you can right-click the timestamp. And hold on, I'm going to share a different screen because it's not showing the right click. This one. I think this will work. Right-click the timestamp and send this link to Circloscope as a Google Plus post. Okay? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go through. I could do up to 40 posts. This will save you so much time instead of having to copy-paste URLs. This one got a lot of, you know, it's cute. It's a dog picture. I'm going to send to Circloscope. And obviously, you know, depending on what your target audience is, you know, the better you can target these posts, the more likely that you're going to get good, you know, good results. So, I'll do one more. Now I'm going to go to Circloscope, and when you do that, you do have to have Circloscope open as the page that you want to send it to. I'm going to go to engagers of specified posts that aren't already in my circles, and you're going to see that post number 1 was put in there. Actually, post 2, 3, 4, all Okay, I did 6 posts. 6 posts were sent to Circloscope. And what this is going to do, when I click OK, it's going to find everyone who plussed those posts, shared those posts, commented on those posts, even the reshares of the post and plussed and commented those. So these are all people who are interested in those 6 posts. Now I've got 346 results, and that's, pushing it when it comes to how many you should be adding to your circles every day. I'm going to recommend 100 to 150. Google Plus has daily limits. If you push it too much, like if you're circling 500 people a day, 1,000 people a day, they will start throttling you more and more and more, and you could circle less and less and less. It's better to be targeted and relevant than, you want targeted and relevant. So what I want to do is I want to filter down this 346. Now, I like sharers. If someone shares a post, to me, that means they're more interested in it than if they just plus it. It's so easy to plus a post. We plus so many posts, but we don't share very many. So I want those people who shared the post. So I'm going to apply, and that brings it down to 19. So you can see that, you can start to narrow down that amount if it's too many. Now with 19, I can just easily select them all, and I can unselect people that I don't want, which, if you don't have a profile photo, I tend to not add you. If it was a larger group of people in the filters, you could put an X next to blue head to remove anyone who does not have a profile photo. And that did not work. But we're going to have to get our blue head filter fixed. Looks like it's broken. That figures, right?
Oh my gosh, Christine,
it's always something.
So wonderful, and Candy says Circloscope is so helpful in a lot of ways, and for me it does make sense. And Kim Armstrong says this is cool to see Circloscope in action. I need to check it out. You definitely do, Kim. And are there tutorials out there for newbies? Yes, they are. There are. Circloscope has.
Yes, and I will post the URL in the comments, but it is circloscope.com/YouTube. It goes right to our YouTube channel. But let me just real quick circle these people. So after I've selected my people, I circle, add to circles. I'll do a new circle. I'm going to call this Circloscope 5. I usually do date things. March. And I'll check, I could fill this up and check back in April or May, and if someone didn't follow back, I can remove them. But it does give this error message a lot. It's a Google Plus error, basically warning me that I've reached my limit for the day. It doesn't take long. It still added them, and it does still add them, and they do still get a message. But I do recommend staying in that 100 to 150 limit. So if I was going to add more today, I would still go ahead even though I got the message, but I would stop at about 100, 150 total.
Yes, because at Google,
I've never been.
Try to go over. They're still there, but Google won't do it immediately, and then you get a notice that it's happened.
But just you've got to play with their limits and stay in their game. So.
Yeah. Anyway, Christine and Bandit Under the Desk, yep. I am so glad you were here today. This was just fabulous, and it's wonderful to see Bandit, and I think Bandit is such a great illustration of how you can go through the process and follow that strategy and build your engagement and build your targeted people, the people who really engage with what it is that you do, and amazingly enough, even make sales. So absolutely. I think that's just really wonderful. And it's always great to see you, Christine, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you all the Zapsters for being here. And we didn't have time. We had so much to cover, and we didn't have time to bring up a lot of posts. Anyway, thanks all.
Thank you. Thanks so much.